He put so many good contractors out of business.
I don't care if he's Donald Trump or Donald Duck. Right is right, wrong is wrong, and I have to stand up for myself.
Donald Trump had basically decided what subcontractors would work in Atlantic City and which ones would not.
They are the voices skeptical of Donald Trump and his promises of prosperity.
If you went against him, he simply put a list out and said these are bad guys and everybody else is a good guy.
And you guys were on that list?
We were on the list.
And did you ever get work in Atlantic City again?
Never.
But Donald Trump has framed much of his campaign on his stellar record as a businessman.
I'm running to give back to this country, which has been so very good to me. Jobs, jobs, jobs.
The three small business owners we just heard from say their contracts with Trump initially looked promising, but in the end, the deals turned disastrous.
It was one of those things, it's like, it's Donald Trump. You know, what could go wrong?
Stephen Jenkins and his sister Beth Rosser are second-generation owners of Triad Building Specialties, a business built by their father, Forrest. When Trump's Taj Mahal began construction, Triad won the bid to install every toilet partition inside the casino's bathrooms. It was the largest contract their family business had ever landed.
We bill $100,000, $150,000 a month. That's a really good month for us. And this was almost $300,000 in one contract. Everyone was, you know, it was a big job. It was great.
But as Triad's workers wrapped up the project, talk started swirling that contractors weren't getting paid. When the Taj Mahal filed for bankruptcy in 1991, Triad was left with this $231,000 claim in court. They say they ended up with a payout of just $70,000.
It's hard for me to talk about it, but he wanted all four of us to work.
Jenkins gets emotional when he remembers how their father struggled to keep the business standing.
It was distraught. It was, you know, he's watching something that he built his whole life start to slip through his fingers.
A generous loan, they say, saved the Pennsylvania company.
He didn't go to a bank for the loan. He borrowed it off of a friend.
I respect a lot about him. I think he has the capacity to take the very complicated and simplify it, which I think is one of the hallmarks of a good CEO. So I think he has that ability. On the other hand, I also think that he is vindictive, nasty, and think that his words or actions have no repercussions.
Nat Hyman spent years in litigation with Trump. He respects Trump's shrewd business tactics, but harbors resentment at what it cost his startup costume jewelry business. Letters show Trump tried to cut short Hyman's kiosk lease inside Trump Tower in Manhattan, blaming the poor quality of the merchandise. Hyman sued Trump amid various lease disputes, and he says the real estate mogul's team buried him in legal paperwork and fees for years.
He was hoping that simply by sending me a letter and the force of being Donald Trump, that a 20-something-year-old would roll over and say, go ahead, you know, I'm not going to fight you, you're Donald Trump. He was wrong. I think I spent over $1 million in litigation with him. The bottom line was I would have been much happier, Jess, if he would have left me alone and simply left me to do my business. To him, it was sport, and to me, it was my life.
We will make it very, very good for our companies, for our small businesses, and for people that want to survive and do well in our country.
Paul Friel scoffs at Trump's words. The Philadelphia cabinetry company founded by his grandfather was forced to file for bankruptcy, he contends, because of Trump's retaliatory tactics.
We had already worked for 3 GCs, and every single one of them lived up to their word until Donald Trump came to Atlantic City. He was the first one that told a bunch of small contractors, I don't think I'm going to pay you any more money. And if you don't like it, you can sue me.
Friel says his father did try to recoup the $84,000 Trump owed the company for building bases to these Trump Plaza slot machines and the hotel's registration desks and bars. The elder Friel eventually gave up, but Trump seemed to hold a grudge. Friel says he believes his father's company was blocked from working on any future Atlantic City casino projects.
I think it surprised him the most that Donald Trump had blackballed him, even though we had an excellent name in Atlantic City. We had already worked in 4 of the first 4 casinos, that he had the ability to tell people, you don't want this company to work for you.
Now, Friel says he's speaking out to honor his dead father.
He would say, Paul, do this for us, because I was the one son involved in the business.
Donald Trump did not respond to our requests for comment about these small business owners, but he promised big, if not vague, things in Cleveland.
I have made billions of dollars in business making deals. Now I'm going to make our country rich again.
He would say, Paul, do this. Let the country know what kind of man this is.
And you're doing that.
And I'm doing it.